We're back for the final game of today. And just to let you guys know, because you lovely people that love to enjoy all things PUBG, is the next 2 days we'll have 5 games each day. That's because we won't be broadcasting on Thursday. We'll be actually going over to PEL at that point. So we will close everything up here for Contenders on Wednesday.
When you consider that, like, 2 weeks ago, it was like, okay, these guys have like 48 games.
Literally, go back and watch the VOD at the beginning.
Yeah,
when
I
sat
know,
down here, I was
know,
like, oh yeah, you've got 48 games, but don't worry, you won't even feel like 48 games, because in a couple of weeks, you'll be like, oh no, I need more points. Yeah, a bit late for that now, isn't it, lads? Come on.
Oh, I'll tell you what, when you look at the overall standings after that last game, YMCA in 12th place, down to 187 points. Northern Lights only 1 point behind, with Last Crew and Better Luck Next Time kicking at the heels.
And PG-18 are just like running away with it at this point. They're loving life. No problem at all for them.
Yeah.
Moops, adding a little bit more to their points, gaining that experience, right? What we said, make the most of this. If you are one of those teams where it's looking pretty lost for you, you got to turn things around and say, okay, we can at least use this as a decent amount of practice. And that's where it's so important. Now, Sanhok, we've had some interesting circles with this one. We've had that valley of chaos. We've had YMCA like to fight off against ELGIG over and over again. What will this one bring? Only time will tell. But one thing for sure is you can never predict how Sanhok's going to go down.
I'm going to say Southwest.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm going to say Southwest. We haven't had one for a while. Being kind of quite central to kind of Northwest. It's even been as far as I remember, there's even been a South East circle, but there hasn't been a Southwest for quite a while. But either way, with this playing trajectory, the good thing about Sanhok, it's a smaller map, so all the teams can generally get to where they want to, give or take. Airstation, Mike, they normally used to drop around Hattie. Now, that's obviously quite away from this playing trajectory, but even last week, they landed in Painan with Team Moops also. Now, they did lose out that squad fight. Let's see if it'll happen in this game.
And the spot you were talking about, just on towards the, well, it's down south from Hartin, is where ELGIG have gone this time. But YMCA, they found themselves going further down south. And here we go. Look at the circle. A lot of water included in it. But overall, it's not too bad. Most teams will have an easy route in. It's the bridge fights that come over, especially from the southwestern island. That's going to be the harder one.
Definitely. It's going to be very difficult for the likes of 3D Max and Last Crew. 3D Max and Last Crew, to be perfectly honest, because when you look at Team Moops and Airstation, Mike, yeah, they're in their own little bubble. But YMCA, they can go towards that bridge on the southeast, and Tornado Energy can go on the bridge that they're right by. They can pinch. Last Crew will most likely get in boats.
I was about to say, Last Crew got no worries because they're just going to go driving for a while. What Last Crew like to do, and if you enjoy Sanhok, you probably should do it too. Get yourself onto a boat, drive around the island for a little bit. No one's shooting at you. You seem to be able, like Last Crew, genuinely get away with murder every time because they don't shoot anyone. Yeah, and when I say they get away with murder, it's like we're just having a boat party. It's like I'm on a boat. I can't even say the rest of that song here, can I? No, definitely can't. But Last Crew roll around on the boat, right? They find themselves coming into the fights later on. Now, a couple of times they've been challenged on their breach when they actually get off and try and get onto land. But for them, it's worked out. It's not been like, oh, we've won huge games or anything, but it helps them stay out of these crazy rotation fights, which Sanhok brings.
And they're the first team to have actually successfully used those boats as a safe way of getting into those circles. We saw it in the group stages. I forget exactly who it was now, but they'd always use the boat, but they'd leave it too late. And they'd get pinched, they'd get taken out time and time again. And it was like, okay, if you're going to make the boat rotation, make it early and make it safer.
Yeah, exactly that, right? Because it can get risky, especially now when you're at this stage where we've played many maps of it. Everyone now expects Last Crew to jump in a boat and do it. So they are looking for you now. It's not going to be something where you're hidden away.
Exactly. And now we see Better Luck Next Time will have a relatively easy enough access into the circle. We see Fate is already there with Faultlessly, Kizik, and Arctics a little bit more down south. Tempest, they face a couple of harsh rotations in these games, especially when the circle is in the northwest, and now they have prime opportunity to get that location in the center of the circle that they want to hold on to, and then put pressure onto the teams around them.
Now for quick math here. Already in the circle, don't have to move too far, we just need to hold on to a stronger position that they want to grab themselves. But quick math is still one of those teams where I never feel like we talk about them massively, like huge amounts, but they still always able to get away with some crazy wins here, some good points, some overall placements, but they struggle to take it to the level where we're like, yes, they're jumping up, yes, they're hitting this spot. Like,
definitely. They stay fairly kind of quiet.
Yeah.
The only thing that separates them from the likes of, let's say, YMCA is that YMCA have got more chicken dinners, so they've stood out more from that point of view. But when you look at the overall standings, they're both very close to each other. And Quick Math have just been like, yeah, look, you know, they're like the person at the party that doesn't really kind of speak much, that doesn't like to be the center of attention, but then has the insane dance moves that when people do notice it, it's like, okay, cool.
Ooh, the tab. Find himself one knock. If he can get a second here, that's going to be huge. InsideGames pushing up on him. Tab's got a nade ready. Perfect. He doesn't have anything other than bandages for meds, though, and that's the problem. He's already taken a lot of damage, and with that nade not connecting onto a player, he's not only outnumbered and outgunned, but he also now needs to help as much as possible in order to close this one out. His teammates have started to come in as well, and that's a beautiful nade. The boom, landing the booms onto Zampeek. Pixel now needs to learn if he can make a move at all. More nades coming out. It's going to avoid doing any damage. But the rest of InsideGames have a difficult choice to make here. Set as well with the VSS in the back lines.
Yep. Joker's looking a lot more together as a team in this Sanhok game. Will they be able to make it count? seniks is right behind him. Odstrelovac is there. Got to be very, very careful of those peaks. Confirm the kill. Back away. Reposition.
And the thing is here for Jokers, you don't want to use too many nades. You need to hold on to them for the later stages of the game. If you can deal away without losing a single player, that would be huge. The Boom finds himself knocked down, but he's not finished off just yet. Odstrelovac in the background, and that nade could be huge. Good positioning. Managed to bounce off the other rock there, and Moon's going to come around the side. He's looking for him, spots out Pixel. Is he going to be able to find Zampeek? He knows where it is, but Odstrelovac with the cover fire. That is absolutely huge. He takes down Moon and saves his teammate's life. They might be able to hold on.
He shouldn't have even been able to have a chance to knock down one member of InsideGames there, to be honest, because Odstrelovac had that area covered for so long. It's a little bit of a miss sight coming out from Odstrelovac, but he made it count in the end. Pixix will get revived up. Seth does have that VSS. He did talk about it. He's going to reposition. The Boom is still there, but Jokers look pretty good. Now find themselves in a position of pressure, but Zampeek does get confirmed.
And neither of these teams are winning. The Boom's going to die now. Odstrelovac and Pixel are the only two members left for InsideGames. Jokers just have one player. This was a lose-lose for both teams.
Considering they were both inside the circle, you gotta say maybe it shouldn't have happened. Jokers initially looked strong, but the second one of their members got knocked down, I would have said, look, back off.
Now the Snakes are truly in the grass to kick things off with here on Sanhok. Quizzy, he's heard what these Tornado players are doing. He watched one already go out away from him. Now he's hearing what the rest of them will do, and it's all happening around Paradise Resort. The Boom eventually dies out.
Yep.
Ticked away over time. Last crew didn't get in the boat. We were wrong. We lied to everyone.
Well,
my God. Didn't happen. Maybe they've realized we need to mix it up.
Something like that. I think that's because last week they did do it once or twice. As Quizzy gets taken down by example, gets called out. Kill confirmed. Orange is around there. But great play from Anuktiv to get the clap back now on the members of Tornado Energy. What are you going to do? Rotate around, and Nuktiv is there. You have Tornado Energy in the background. Example is there. You have Alia GG. But it's a little bit too far away for them to really put too much hurt onto members of Unity. All the while, we did see that phase 2. It did kind of center up a little bit. So the majority of these teams are inside the circle. The only team that is really outside of it is Last Crew.
And the Last Crew, they're never too worrying about that. All the 3D Max are there. They're coming in vehicles, though, so Last Crew may have to be careful either way. Moop's under pressure with a player knocked down already. And Sakura, he's straight sending for it. Nades barreling out. No damage being done. Not exactly the most well-placed nades. Double trying to hide around the rock, and at least here, Double's in a great position because he's looking on all sides, and YMCA are trying to pinch them by coming on all different sides of this fight.
But the tough thing for YMCA is that they are kind of low ground, right? So you can't really flank heavily successfully. The only thing you have in your arsenal is that you can flank, throw a grenade, and hope it connects on. ToWzErA, has he caught that double? Double is not silent. Hawkey will not be able to respond quickly enough, although Diggory does come in and says, okay, wait, I want to join in on the fight. So Quick Math helping Team Moops for now.
But for how long will it be able to help him? Moops, Hawkey bringing up Double out in the open. A risky move, but he needs to do it. The rest of YMCA pushing around. Reggie knocked and killed off straight away. And now YMCA have basically stolen Moops' position away from them. Only Double and Hawkey up. And for me, you just back away from this. There's no need to stand and fight. Get the hell out of there because no one's winning once again. You're still in a position where we're not even at the 10-minute mark.
But the thing is, because the circle is so central, what's hard for Team Moops is the second they back away, they're heading right into the path of another team. They have no exit point because Quick Math, you've seen, have taken away a member of YMCA. So instantly the rest of Team Moops are going to be high alert. You have Last Crew rotating from the south. Even if 3D Max a little bit more towards the southeast of them. It's so hard for Team Moops. They've got to back away a little bit, but you can't do it too harshly.
And that's the problem with Sanhok being a smaller map. It's a very different style of how you disengage. For me, for Moops, then, you disengaged before you actually saw the third player go down. Instead, now you're just 2 players up with it. Last Crew, though, looking to come into this battle, and the fight is not over for YMCA. Kajuti, the only member alive, and 2 kills is not what they want to be having. Placement points is very far away with still 16 teams up in it. Diggory able to do more damage long range, and QuickMath have been loving this because they've had so many shots taken towards both these teams all fighting in this direction, and they've not had to move a muscle.
That's really going to hurt YMCA. They're 12th overall, only 1 point ahead of Northern Lights, so instantly they can find themselves down below the top 12. Last Crew did get that kill there in 14th place. They're only 5 points behind YMCA. As KnorkiS at BetterLuckNxTime connects onto 3D Max, the circle shifted down south. 3D Max are on the edge, trying to fight against BetterLuckNxTime, but it's not working out for now.
For BetterLuckNxTime to try and push this one. There's no need for them to overextend it. They've got the compound, they're in the circle, but they know the 3D Max players are waiting. Problem for 3D Max is they don't have much cover, and they've also got Last Crew that can also see them. Airstation Mike losing ToWzErA is not what they would have wanted here. They're fighting off against Northern Lights. And again, it's been tough for Airstation Mike. Started off not too bad. It's slowly slipping away.
Yeah, slowly gone a little bit downhill from there. But Milky Way, all these teams are so close in the center circle. It's unbelievable. We still have 46 players up, 15 teams in phase 3 on Sanhok is unbelievable, James.
Loads of little fights have been taken, though. 46 alive. Kissick looking to try and knock one of the 3D Max players out. Solo actually goes out to the zone in the end because he took so much damage. Phantom also has to be careful. He doesn't want to suffer the same fate from Faultlessly.
Gotta say, though, that was a great rotation by 3D Max. You gotta say, maybe it should have come out earlier. Because with those circle shifts, there would have been an idea there would have been a lot of teams down south. But still, as a 2-man team, you make it now, it's better than what could have been the case initially against BetterLuckNxTime, as Last Crew might be able to take advantage of that. We see them down south. You talked about Airstation Mike losing 1 member already. They're on the edge of the circle on the west-hand side. So let's see if they can just stay out of trouble for now.
Chappie spotted out Kissick. Now watching him run away. Wanted to try and find it and see if he can get the job done, but it won't be possible.
Curious as to why Kissick is kind of so far outside of the circle or in the blue zone. Okay, he's getting a vehicle. It can work. It's only phase 3, so the tick damage isn't too much. Soon we're going to have phase 4. We have a bit of a standoff moment for now because all of the teams are inside the circle, so they're just staying where they are and waiting for phase 4.
And that's the thing, there's no need to move as of now. BetterLuckNxTime grabbed that vehicle and got themselves back together. Last Crew, the only ones that are more out in the open, but they're on top of the hill, right? They've got the trees for cover, and they've also got the information of where BetterLuckNxTime are. And QuickMath still take shots. They've not been able to get too many knocks and kills in. I think they've had like one. I mean, I've definitely seen 2 knocks and 1 kill.
Yeah.
But they have so much information. They've seen all these teams from down in the south, so they're well aware of where the next moves could be being made. It all depends on when this next circle shifts. So we can see ELGIGANTEN close to Camp Bravo, still up with 4 players, which has been better than what they've been able to do throughout a lot of this game. But there are still so many players alive. That's the problem. So it doesn't really kind of help them say, oh, we're going to do well this game. It doesn't help them just yet understand how bad this could be.
Good thing for InsideGames, who hold on to ban, is that it's very hard to get away from there because it's low ground. So the second you kind of go uphill, you can find yourself a little bit exposed, or even go uphill and then kind of go on top of the hill. But it's still inside circle. We didn't see a huge shift. Actually centered up quite nicely. And now the action is starting to kick off between Unity and Tempest. Unity are outside the circle, but they have ELGIG right behind them.
Yeah, this is where Unity have to be careful. Do they have any information as to where ELGIG are? And Noctiv and Snoopy are looking around, but it could be too much for them to handle. Unity only have 3 players up in it. Orange is there as well, just a little bit further away. Ah, there we go. First nade goes out. And Noctiv well aware then. He understands that ELGIG are close, but they're going to avoid each other because ELGIG are working their way around the northern side. And Unity are just going to hang where they are. And
there's also 3D Max, Phantom, and Furex. So ELGIG initially rotating quite nicely, could find themselves under a lot of pressure if 3D Max do catch them out. We see the picture-in-picture fight between PG-18 and Tornado Energy on the southeast side. Airstation Mike also joining in on the fun. fEJK and Jazza, they do, unfortunately, knock each other out.
Combo starts off strong onto PG-18. Kills can easily be stolen away. Yubica tapping long distance, trying to get the job done. He is the only member left alive for PG-18. They've not had their best day going. They will be out in 15th place, but they are still the #1 team within this lobby.
One bad game won't be the worst thing in the world for them as ELGIG. You got Phantom prone down. You have also Furex prone down. I don't know if ELGIG are fully aware exactly where 3D Max are. There you go.
3D Max down and out, 14th place.
They did get 1 point for that kill onto Morpheus. That could put a little bit of hurt onto the side of ELGIG because Unity will have even Stevens from a player point of view between themselves and ELGIG.
Oh, Airstation Mike right on the edge here. Close to QuickMath now, and QuickMath they've just been able to see everything. Ooh. No one's challenged them just yet either. Double's able to get a knockdown onto Compot. Can he get the finish off? Tornado have got so many shots. Tempest, Northern Lights, and Moops all shooting at him. Set on his own. Sees Perfectix, doesn't want to take the shot. Trigger discipline, and I absolutely love it. Keep yourself alive. You never know what's close. You never know what could happen. Problem is, if Perfectix goes backwards and then looks at him, then we've got a fight on our hands. Come on. Perfectix just roll.
What the hell?
Even Perfectix was so confused. He walked in, shots at him. He's like, from where? But why? How did it happen? Still got an extra point, but Jokers will be out in 13th place. Could have been a little bit more awkward. Imagine if like Perfectix turned around and just banged him in the face, like off with your head.
I thought that's what might have happened as Tornado Energy, who were facing a lot of her from multiple teams around them, have made their way down into ban and are putting the hurt onto InsideGames. Odstrelovac being put down. Pixelix is the only one that's left standing. It's going to be the 1-on-1 against Example.
Oh, Pixel trying to play it so well. That is huge. All the shots landed. He's 3 health and a dream, but he gets the final kill done, and Tornado out in 12th. Wow, oh wow, Pixel. Brilliant. And that's just the beauty of it. The way he was moving was so key in that.
So nice. He just repositioned Peak, looked on through, but now Team Moops, they've got 3 kills looking in the direction of Northern Lights, who are on the edge of the circle. All the while Milky Way, they find themselves in a very nice position on the east side.
Fake under pressure, the final member of Airstation, Mike, 29 health, and he's down and out of it. It's not going to work out for him this time around as QuickMath finish him off, and Airstation might continue to struggle to find their form. One good game today is not going to be enough, but Unity, they're back on it, and they're going to be sending multiple teams home at this rate because they just do not seem to be slowing down.
I told you it was going to be potentially the downfall of ELGIG the second they lost a member to 3D Max, and Unity have turned it around very nicely done by them as they'll push on through. We are down to 8 teams, 19 players, but Last Crew the only team with a full squad up.
And Last Crew, they had a good game last time around. It was looking better for them on Miramar. They had moments where we go, okay, Last Crew, you can make it work. But could this be the one for him? Now Milky Way, we've not seen massive amounts from him over the last week or so. It's been a struggle since that big kickoff on the first Erangel game in the final stage. But can it turn around now? Mans finds the first one onto Kissick, and this is the dream scenario. But the nade comes back out, and Offstring's just going to have to hide behind the rock. Mans is close by, but is he going to be able to get an angle on him to make it work? iZoom trying to get those nades out, and it's getting close, but it's not close enough. He still lands the headshot onto Faultlessly. And the Milky Way team is big and tough. You know they'll blow your head clean off. Can they do it to the rest of them? There's more shots coming out. iZoom sprays them down, and the job is done. Better luck next time out in 8th.
It might be the jungle, it might not be the western lands, but Milky Way pushing it through. Tempest do go down in 7th place. 6 teams, 14 players. Great cover fire from iZoom. I do want to point it out. Very team effort orientated coming out from Milky Way in this final game of the day. As they do make their way through into the circle from the east side. Last Crew, as I said, still that full man squad, but they're facing fire from both Milky Way and Team Moops.
Offstream knows exactly where they're sat. Man's looking for more. Some damage coming their way, and they have to avoid the blue. Do be careful. It sneaks up on you, it creeps up on you, and it does a hell of a lot of damage at these phases. The new circle pops, and it's pretty much dead out in the open. It's only Unity's compound that's still there. iZoom's now dealt the damage onto Last Crew, and he's looking for more. Headshots are being landed, and that's exactly what I said they'll do. They will blow your head clean off, and he's not going to stop anytime soon. Offstring, though, has had this one delivered to him from Snoopy, which means that Unity, they know exactly what's going on around them. But are they going to be aware of Pixel, who's actually quite close up in the north?
True, the third party coming out by Unity did hurt Milky Way's chances. 2 members of their side knocked down that were dealing damage onto Last Crew. iZoom is the only one that's left standing for Milky Way. All the while, Northern Lights, they've stayed fairly quiet in the last couple of phases. They've got 4 kills. You got Pixix that could come into contention, that could put a little bit of hurt. And now he's facing in the direction of Hawkey and Double. Both teams fighting against the blue zone.
What a spray down. It won't be enough, though, because he'll die out to the zone either way. Moops out in 6th place this time around. Not what they would have wanted off the back of that win. But still, it's not a bad position for these guys. We speak about their power on a map like Sanhok, and they still show up within the top 8.
And considering they lost 2 members early on, it was looking quite dangerous for them.
Move, Rip. Oh, my God. I think he took 2 ticks then.
Oh, looking for Spyro. Last one standing of Northern Lights, but he connects onto it. Nuktif helps him out. Northern Lights do get taken out, though, by Last Crew. Unity putting their hurt on. We've got 3 teams left as Last Crew do go down. iZoom still in this game. Nope.
Just as you say it, the Milky Way boys are down and out of it now. It's just between Unity and InsideGames. But the thing is, Pixel's been behind them for so long. He's sneaking. There is a world in which he could do this.
Definitely.
He hasn't got the nades, but he's got the surprise factor. They have no idea which direction he might come up. The circle continues to just get closer and closer. The central position is obviously owned by Unity. Pixel has to work his way up, but with how steep this hill is, it might give him a slight advantage to maybe see a Nuktiv's head before Snoopy can even do anything. It relies on Pixel having to land these shots. He tries to, but a Nuktiv is far too fast. 13 kill win here for Unity, and a big way to end the day before going into tomorrow.
Man, considering they haven't really had the performances throughout the first 3 games compared to what we saw last game, to finish Sanhok with that win, with that dominating performance, I said compared to what they initially had pressure-wise onto ELGIG, it was tough, but with the help of 3D Max, they pushed through against ELGIG, they took down Milky Way, they put pressure onto all the teams around them, and they had all the space in the world to get the job done, and boy, did they do it.
And overall, we saw tons of kills come out from our top 8 teams in general. But this was the biggest win of the day. How crazy is that? Out of 4 games, the biggest win was a 23-point game.
Yep.
And that's not even that great. Like, 23-point games are good, but we've seen a lot heavier than that.
We have. I think it's partly because all these teams are just clawing for as many points as they can. So it's like, okay, even if it's just like 2 kills, let's just grab what we can and get out there. So it's not being top heavy from a points result point of view.
Yeah, it's being spread out a little bit more evenly for these guys as we get towards the ends of it. Unity, though, managed to hold on very strong. They were down on players and still managed to get the... This one was just funny as hell. Perfectix is like, okay, I must escape being shot at from multiple sides. The moment Set walks outside, he goes down anyway. But the fact he was even able to get with 1 kill is very impressive on its own, being a solo player. But Pixel, though, that was the beauty, wasn't it? 3 health and a dream, and still no one expected him to try and sneak in from behind.
And that's why, based on that moment, I actually thought he could have gotten the better of Unity towards the end. It was just enough to have responded that little bit quicker. And this is a moment where Milky Way, they looked very strong. They got the better look next time. They faced up against Last Crew, but Unity up in that north direction put so much hurt onto Milky Way that it was so hard for them to deal with it.
So with 1 day down of the final week of the final stage, and 2 more to go, but only 10 games in total left. 5 games a day. Pressure is mounting. It's a big struggle for some of these teams. And Inuctive's just reactions on that last one were really smooth. You saw that then as he was just creeping up. Instantly, the shots were fired. He ducked down and continued to spray through the grass. That's knowing your terrain. That's knowing how to handle a situation like that.
I can't believe it. 10 games left.
That's all it is. All
left.
it is. And this is our standings for that final game. PG18, 1 point, but they'll take it because it doesn't really matter for these guys anymore. They are well in front in first place. Airstation, Mike, I'm just feeling sorry for these guys now. You were within top grasp, and you've again slowed down. We had, 1 good game from them today?
1 good game for them. That was in Miramar, as far as I know, where they got a bunch of kills.
That was at 8th place with 6 kills.
Yeah.
And it's not even like that's bad. Like, you can praise that all day long. It's just we know and we've seen better from these guys before, and that's our issue with it all.
Exactly. And now we look at the damage leaderboard. Inuctive from Uni with 829 damage, standing on his own 2 feet, followed by Izum of Milky Way. And Inuctive, 10 kills. If I'm not mistaken, that's the joint most, if not the most kills we've had in a single game from a single player. I think 8 might have been the highest, or 9 or 10, but either way, Inuctive, like 10 out of their 13 kills, I think.
He'll take that.
Come on, Mike.
Mate,
Crazy.
He is an absolute... Like, this team at the moment is a beastly team. And obviously, when they made the change coming into the final stages, they just need a bit of time to warm up because they're starting to deliver time and time again.
And the 2 teams who made the changes, PG18 and themselves, made the roster changes coming into finals.
The only caveat I'll add to that is the PGA team one made perfect sense because the player they moved was just someone who didn't even speak their native language.
Yep.
So it's an instant upgrade anyway because communication is key to success. For Unity, they didn't have that going for them. They just made the change and we were like, well, obviously there's a reason for it. And yes, it's working out. But I mean, at first, when they were struggling in that opening week, we were like, oh, Lord. They were 16th, and they're now in 4th place. These points are getting very crazy. ELGIGANTEN, they need to be very careful. But Joker's here. This is where it's not ideal for them. They have not performed well enough on the last 2 games.
10 points between 10th place and 14th place. You've even got Team Moops. They're only 40 points away from 10th place. Did we really predict that even halfway through last week? No, not at all, because Team Moops were really not looking too good. But with the win that they had, with the points that they've gained, suddenly they're in the mix to get into the top 12.
Honestly, from 14th all the way to 6th, that's where you can see the changes most. I think Tornado, Unity, InsideGames, 3D Max, PGA team, we'll still see them within the top 8 come the end of the next 2 days. But Airstation, Mike, QuickMath, and ELGIG, especially ELGIG and QuickMath, they've got to do some serious work. Because Airstation, Mike, I know they can do it, but ELGIG, they've kind of had that inconsistency with it sometimes. And then when you look at QuickMath, like we said, they sometimes show up and we go, that's great. But we're never really like screaming and shouting QuickMath, 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 because they have these moments where you just don't see anything from them, and it's just like they die.
True, but they have gotten 4 chicken dinners. So to counter that a little bit or be devil's advocate, they can get the job done when it's needed with those chicken dinners. So I would also put them in the mix to get it done ahead of even ELGIG.
Let's see if it can happen. We've got 5 games coming your way tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, and that'll be closer and closer towards the end. It's a longer day, but it's well worth it because this will be the conclusion of the PUBG Europe Contenders when it comes to Wednesday. So we only have 10 games total, 2 days of 5 games a day. And my, oh my, I think these teams, this is where it's the real test from. Because it's like we're upping the games again where we previously just had it on 1 day. Exactly. This is 2 days of it. But it's at the most crucial moment of what you have for contenders.
Every point's going to count, James.
And it has since the beginning. Maybe they should have thought about that right at the start, because sometimes you drop games, you maybe don't flush a kill, and you probably sit back and think of that and go, why did I not? Could have had that 1 point. It could have been everything. And honestly, we saw it in phase 1 and 2. We saw standings come down to 1 point.
Yeah.
It really can be that close. But you guys will see how close it gets tomorrow. Thank you, as always, for being back with us and watching all of the PUBG action here. For PUBG Europe Contenders, myself, James Banks, and Mr. Imperium, a.k.a. Cormac, bring you all the action. 2 more days to go. Don't miss any of it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.